Hey guys, Carl, sir. I know it has been a while since I put out a video like this. I really have to apologize. I was going through a crazy, 2 month long mouth infection of the, tooth infection, and unable to talk, and then blah blah blah. And then after that, it was some recovery and trying to catch back up on work and all the other excuses I could possibly come up with. But we're back, we're getting into the swing of it again. This is going to be the first video that gets uploaded, I think. Obviously, some code videos have gone out. I tried to keep up with those even while I was doing my other stuff. It's a lot easier to handle those because I can always just be like, oh, I'm not going to talk, here's the code, leave me alone, bye. So the first thing I want to do is I want to I'm going to call it a shout out, but it's kind of not a shout, it's sort of a shout out. There is a YouTuber that I follow. Her name is Janet Devlin. You may have heard of her. She was on, I think, America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent. Britain's Got Talent, I think is what she was on. She just posted a new song. She does a lot of covers, and I think this is actually a song that she wrote. I don't know for sure on that one. I just, listened to her sing and was like, that's awesome. And I commented, along with a lot of other people, and something that I also really like about her, even though she's got like 500,000 followers, she responds to a large amount of comments. Like, here's her response to mine right here. I said, I'm not going to go into what I said. If you want to go check it out, you can. Just go check, I don't know, her comments on that video and maybe you can see it. But, like, this comment to me sounds like a direct answer to what I said. Like, it doesn't sound like a robotic answer where she's got like 5 things she copies and pastes. She really looks like, hopefully it's her and it's not like she's hired somebody to do it, because that'd be awful. But I really do believe it's her. She seems like that kind of person. She just seems like a really nice person, on top of the fact that she's got amazing vocals. So I suggest checking her out. At least go and listen to her music at least once. Give her a shot. I suggest the Ed Sheeran song that she did a cover of. I suggest that one. I think it's like In the Fire or something like that. But it was a song that Ed Sheeran had written for The Hobbit. I think the third Hobbit movie or something like that. But it was in one of those movies, and that's what it's for. But anyway, let's get into the topic of what we're actually here for this video about. Let's just get into the video. So, this video is basically a rundown of what I call FRR prep. So, I've been asked some advice for how to handle FRR and really take advantage of it. And I do have a few tidbits of advice, but I sort of have 2 separate avenues of advice, and you have to decide what's best for you on at least this part, and then and then it's a little workable. So the first thing that sort of separates, one set of advice from the other is some people really like to use that, there's this program that you can get. Basically, it analyzes all your runes, and it can, like, help you build a monster based off it'll give you the most, like, where do you take this rune from to get the absolute best stats possible. A lot of people on the higher end and like end game seem to run it. I don't know that really a lot is an accurate, I know quite a few do. I know there's quite a few people that I've talked to who use it. I plan to use it eventually. I just really haven't gotten around to it. You have to use like BlueStacks to do that. If you're gonna go that avenue, then really all you need to do is 2 things. Get that whole thing set up, obviously, which is not one of those 2 things. The other 2 things that you actually need to do are, 1, collect the runes to be able to set it up, right? And then 2, get the mana to upgrade the runes to be able to set it up. And then, I guess 3, pick who you want to set up. And the thing is, if you don't want to go that avenue, those 3 things basically say the same. Sorry, that's an obligatory Gratz. Let's see which one it is. Ooh, yeah, an Ariel. Ariel's really strong after the buff, so let's drop a quick Gratz and then we'll get back to the video. Bam! So, if you don't want to go that avenue, if you don't want to go on the BlueStacks and have, a program tell you what runes to put on everybody, then it's basically just a slightly longer detailed what I would suggest to do. So basically, if you don't want to go that route and you want to go the slightly longer way, what I would say to do is you need to prepare ahead of time. You need to prepare days ahead, or even at least a day ahead. Because when FRR comes, you have one full day, and if you're not going to do, I mean, almost no matter what, you want to take full advantage of the FRR. Don't feel bad that this lost. I'm trying out some new things, trying to beat my my current time score of 41 seconds. So, yeah, you know, there's going to be some failures. But you've got to decide, first of all, a priority list. And I suggest doing it this way. Make two lists. One list of every monster you want to strip. Okay? And then the first thing I suggest you do is strip those monsters. It's very easy. You can get it all done. That's the part that costs mana anyway. So as long as you get them all stripped, then you can always put runes on a naked monster, and it doesn't really have, you know, it doesn't cost you anything. But taking them off does. So make a list of who you want to strip and strip them, and I suggest that's the first thing you do on FRR. Now, the other list you want to make is a prioritized list of what monsters you want to build or rebuild or whatever. Big rune adjustments, little rune adjustments, it doesn't matter. Make a list and prioritize the list. Don't just make the list, but also come up with a priority that you think works best. So if you just make a list, you know, of 20 mobs that you want to set up, but you don't have it prioritized, you might end up with, you know, you only had enough time to do 5 of them, because let's face it, nobody ever has enough time to do everything they wanted to do on FRR. I mean, come on, let's just face it, it is what it is. You know, it's one day and we need more than a day to do all the stuff for free, so, you know, it just is what it is. So you've got to come up with a priority list. And then, you know, you've got to do that. There's really not a whole lot I can offer in that avenue other than consider what area of the game you want to grow in, and then try to prioritize those monsters. Like I've at one point was putting some of my best runes into Kale and Katarina because I wanted to set up a KB5. Well, then Com2uS thought it'd be funny to, right after I was done with that, change how R5 works so that Cat and Bale aren't really as great as they were, because you can get like a 1 minute clear time with just like 3 DPS. You don't even need Darian anymore. I mean, not, you do in the beginning of R5, but like when your runes are a little stronger, you don't need Darian anymore. You used to need him, period. Or Dias is the other one. Either one of them, you needed one. Now you really don't. I mean, not in the end. You maybe in the beginning, but yeah. So now they're a lesser priority to me, and I'm trying to advance an arena, so I basically stripped them of their rage runes, took those sets, and built them onto the 2 Lucians that I have, so now they're a whole lot stronger. And I noticed a huge difference. I mean, they're both hitting for, I think one of them's hitting about 9.8k per card on average, obviously, and the other one's just over 10k. So I want to get them both over 10k, but that's still quite good. I mean, it's definitely usable. I'm holding C1 right now with a full-on defense. Obviously, not like a one-mon defense or anything, but a full-on defense and doing many attacks a day. I've been able to hold C1 for about 36 hours, so that's fun and all. I mean, it's not the weekend, so it barely counts. But that's just to say. So the other thing you need to do, if you're not going to use that program, is you need to assess your runes. And I actually have a suggestion that is not what a lot of people do, so you've got to decide if this is what you want to do or not. I suggest that before FRR, before, the day before, 2 days before, whatever, you go through your runes and you clear out all of the bad runes. All the things that when you upgrade are not going to be usable, are not going to be good. It doesn't matter how they upgrade, they're going to be garbage. Sell them. Now, you've got to be careful, though, because if you're going to do this before FRR, you've got to make sure that you don't, like, over criticize yourself, that you don't you know, like, these are going to be great, or these will never be good, and then you delete them and you're like, oh crap, I wish I had those. So you do have to be careful if you're going to do it before FRR. The reason I say do it before, I have two reasons actually. One of them is it gives you a big boost of mana to use on FRR for the better runes. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, it declutters your inventory, and honestly, I think it gives you a better assessment of what you can actually do on that FRR, and I mean, it stops you from making a mistake that you regret later. So you still have to decide whether this is the way you want to do it or whether you want to sell them after. I can only make my suggestion, explain why I do it. There is some credence to do it afterwards. I just personally think it's better to do it before. So that's obviously it's up to you, as you know, you've got to enjoy your game. This is all about it's a game, it's all about having fun. So you got to do whatever's going to make you have the most fun. If you don't agree with me, then do it your way. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. So and I think that's basically it. Obviously the priority list is still important. And basically I suggest doing the priority list days before as well. So that's the thing. You can really work some of these things ahead of time. So that way when FRR comes around, you're not scrambling trying to figure things out. You've got it all figured out and written down. Now you just got to check mark it off one by one. Do a little Taylor Swift and put the check mark next to the thing. And then again, because twice next to that name. I mean, that thing. Yeah. So that's basically it. That's FRR preparation in a nutshell. I may go into something more specific in another video, maybe where I do my own preparation on video, or like a quicker rundown of my own preparation. I know at this point I haven't done my prep because I've been busy doing a lot of stuff, and it's Wednesday. I got about half a week still, so I'm not in too much of a rush. But I do suggest getting started soon. Like, I'm going to start my prep tomorrow, and if I don't have it started tomorrow, it will be started the next day. Because I want to make sure that I have it as close to done as possible before it actually lands, especially because I have so many monsters that I have to try to, like, you know, optimize and then re-rune and then strip and then optimize that one, and I mean, it's just yeah, you know. So that is my trick of the trade. Creating lists, preparing ahead of time, get your mana ahead of time, prep the runes. You can always take your runes to like +9 or +12, especially if when you look at a rune it looks good, and then as you get to like +6 it's still good. You know, I usually will take it to +9, and then sometimes I leave it there. But then when FRR comes, basically you just have to remember that those runes are not +12. So if you're comparing like that, you know, +9 to a +12, you've got to account for, well, if you make it a 12, it might be better. So, but that's another part of the reason for selling some of the runes that you know you won't use, because then you can just, you know, take a look and say, hey, I've got more mana now, let's make it a 12, which is a large part of the reason most of us don't have, like, all of our runes at +12. Like, that's something some people have told me, keep all your runes at +12, and I get why they're saying that, and that actually doesn't sound like a bad idea on face, but the thing is, that costs so much mana to do, like, I don't know how they do it, honestly. Like, I'm shocked that they can do it because it costs so much mana. I mean, they must just be, like, really nitpicky about their runes, the ones who can do that successfully, because that's too much for me, man. And I'll never buy mana packs. I don't think so, anyway. I'd have to be a whale to be buying mana packs. There's just so many. I'd rather have light dark packs, honestly. Nah, not right now. I'd rather have mana packs right now, because if I had more mana, I could re-rune, like, 5 monsters. My freaking Aegir would be so strong. Well, that's it, guys. We have what we have. We're doing what we're doing, and new videos will be coming out on Toa. I know I keep saying this, but hopefully very soon. I've also got a couple of other videos coming out. It's going to focus on some of the new things because of all the changes. For instance, I might do an update of my Lauren video, but whether I do that or not, I am going to be putting out another video for another monster that I think, like Lauren, has stepped into the spotlight because of that whole big Shayna nerf that happened like 2 months ago or whatever. But I will also be putting out clear videos on, you know, the bosses in Toa. I will be putting out some of those with twins, but some of them I will make sure as often as I can that a video has a twins team killing the boss, and a non-twin. I mean, because everybody doesn't have twins, so I don't want twins to be the only team I show. I will use the twins because they're just good, but I will also try to make sure that I use a mostly free-to-play team or just another team in general. I do have a free-to-play team set up now. I will be trying to use them just to show that even with like mediocre runes, they can still do Toa. It's harder to do Toa hard that way, but they can do normal. So that's it. I'm cutting it. This has been too long. I'm going to bed. I don't know about you guys, but I am tired. It's time to go to bed. Although by the time you watch this, it'll probably be like an hour from waking up. So, I don't know. We'll see you guys. But anyway, thanks a lot. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to check out the description. I've got some information about my Patreon there. That whole thing is changing. I'm still going to be keeping it up, but what I'm offering for Patreon levels is going to be changing, so you can get in now and get in with the levels that are there, or hang out and watch and see what the levels come up to next time, because there will be a change soon. I'll talk to you guys later in the next video.